Well, good morning and welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Thursday, August 18th, 2022. And our top story today, how to withdraw money from a 529 college savings plan. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Penny Wong is with Consumer Reports. Penny, so great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us in the program this morning.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
And I have to say this, I have a penny for your thoughts. Okay, so I got that corny joke out of the way, Penny. You wrote two great articles for CR, and in this first segment, I want to talk about the 529 plan. Specifically, how do we withdraw money from that plan as to avoid penalties? Because there are penalties if you don't use the money for qualified expenses.
Yeah, that's something families have to be careful about. And one key is making sure that the expenses are what the IRS deems qualified expenses. And most of your big bills will be qualified. That is to say, your tuition, fees, room and board if the student is living on campus. So you can take a look at what the qualified expenses are on the IRS website, or go to my article at consumerreports.org to see links. But make sure that those expenses are what you're spending the money on and that you can document them, that you have receipts or whatever from the colleges. Simply giving money to your student and having them, buy pizza at night is not going to qualify.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So no cars, no pizza, no stereo, even though those are nice gifts and you can find ways to give them to your child if you want, or your student. If you don't follow the correct procedure, Penny, there's an excise tax. There's a 10% penalty and more for doing the wrong thing. So it behooves everyone who's watching the program or who's reading your article to make sure that they do the right thing.
That's right. If it's not qualified, you will have that penalty. Plus, you will pay ordinary income taxes on the amounts you withdraw as well. So It pays to be careful.
It does. And this is probably a question I should have asked you at the top of the segment. But according to Edward Jones, this was in the article, only 40% of Americans recognize 529 plans as a way to save for education. We're not doing a very good job of educating people about 529 plans, are we?
Unfortunately not. For the families who can put that money away, especially long term, there's a really big benefit because it's tax-free. It counts generally less heavily against need-based financial aid. And some states also offer tax breaks on the amounts you contribute. So it's really worth researching that and taking advantage of that if you can.
And to find information on 529 plans, I know you did a lot of research and speaking with interview guests, I guess, for your article. Where do we find that information? Do we find information about 529 on the Department of Education website? Are there just basic 529 comparison sites where we can get this information? There's got to be, with student loan debt going through the roof, I think it's over $1.7 trillion now. It really behooves people to get a leg up on saving.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of resources where people can find that information. Many states have their own plans, so you generally do not have to stick to your own state's plan, but it's worth looking at if you get a tax break. But there are plenty of websites that do that. State treasurer associations all have links to that. Websites such as savingforcollege.com have it. And a lot of the fund companies run different versions, so you could check there too. But take a look at the costs and what the available tax breaks are, as well as the specific investments that are offered. There's a lot you can choose from.
Yeah, and Penny, just before we go to commercial break, this is not too dissimilar from, for example, a 401k type plan where there are different investments, you're putting money away, or a health savings account, which many Americans now have. They're all very similar. They're used for they're different types of vehicles, but they're very similar in that you put money away, you allocate money, and then you use the money when at a certain point in time.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Well, thanks, Penny. When we come back, ways you can save and cut down on your spending. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-504-8194.
Welcome back. We are talking this morning to Penny Wong from Consumer Reports. Penny, thanks so much for sticking with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and you wrote another great piece. So in the follow-up to the 529 piece, another great piece was about how you can save more and spend less. And Penny, I don't have to tell you, I think we're all experiencing high gas prices, high food prices, just high prices in general. I think inflation, according to your article, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 8.5% in the month of July. Gosh knows what it is in August. But there are some ways that you found where people can actually save money, put some money away, and reduce their expenses on their budget.
Yeah, the idea behind these tips is just to use one's own sort of mental habits to make things a little easier, because saving does seem so challenging for many people. But just to try to use a few mental tricks to at least get started on putting money away.
So let's talk a little bit about these quirks or these tricks. And behavioral finance has long been, I think Bill Sharp, the Nobel laureate, and others have written about ways, I don't like to say tricks because I think that denotes some kind of scheme or underhandedness, but these are just ways to kind of get yourself to think maybe a little bit more positively and think about the longer term, not about the shorter term. Any tricks or ideas that come to mind?
Well, one that really struck me when I was speaking with the researchers is, with inflation being so high, it can be very daunting. But one is just to sort of take a step back and take a longer view that even though inflation is high now, the odds are historically it will come down. So just to realize that this is a long game and not to panic. that, if you take a look at the long run, you'll feel a little more encouraged about putting money away and not feel like inflation is just going to eat it up. So that's just to help motivate you get started saving and not feel like it's a hopeless task.
And you're absolutely right about that. I mean, a lot of people, look, a lot of us living paycheck to paycheck. We're living in the moment. Saving, Penny, doesn't have to be painless, though. I mean, as you said, it's the long game. I love the way you described that, because it's about putting small amounts of money over a long period of time. Penny, there are no get rich, unless you're going to go out and win the Powerball, what's that, like 1 in a billion chance of actually winning the $1 billion, or even, gosh, it's probably even higher than that. There's no get rich quick schemes here. So it's putting money away over a long period of time.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And another, I think, useful idea is that it's okay to start small. Even if you can't put away a huge chunk of money right now, it seems a lot more doable if you just set the number at a starting point, whether it's $5, $50 a week, and just get started doing that. And that sort of gets you in gear to eventually increase that amount as you feel more comfortable that you can put that money away and not miss it.
Yeah, and Penny, I mean, a lot of people used to pick on Starbucks because they would say, instead of buying that Starbucks coffee, which, by the way, has gone up significantly due to inflation, you stop buying that and put that money away. But really, it's not about denying oneself. It's about prioritizing what's important. And the money that you are saving for the future is going to be used for housing. It could be used for healthcare. It could be used, by the way, to pay for education expense in a 529 plan, right? So it's having that longer view is really the right way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And another is not to let yourself get distracted too much, particularly by electronic devices. One interesting study we found showed that, using smartphones can lead to sort of impulsivity problems where you might spend too much or trade too much, just because it is so easy to do and seems so trivial in a way when you're just clicking on your phone. So, not using your phone when you're making big financial decisions is probably a good idea. Giving yourself a break and taking a look at it.
Geez, it seems like, I'm sorry, Penny, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say, it just seems like yesterday we were talking about GameStop. Remember the whole GameStop trading? I think that was about a year ago.
The classic example.
And it was great for Robinhood at the time. I think they're going through layoffs now. But that's just a perfect example where the meme stock decisions, maybe it was like playing a video game, but saving isn't necessarily like a video game, Penny.
No, I mean, you rarely have to make big decisions in a rush, and it's usually a good idea not to do that. And you're right, it's not a game. This is, for most people, pretty serious money. So you want to take a really measured view of that. It goes back to going back and taking a long view at what you're doing.
Yeah, leave the video games for the video game time with the family. Leave it away for saving. And look, one thing I think we learned from the pandemic is saving's important. Having emergency savings is important because you're going to need it. Penny, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeffrey. I really appreciate it.
And that wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest security news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archive, check out our latest content, we'll visit our website, and of course, our streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow for another edition of BRN AM. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.